What is going on for everybody out there watching and listening to us? It is our Cash Coaching Hour. I'm your host today, Jonah Dew, and with me is the ever prolific Jesse W. Durham, if you will.
Yeah.
Jesse, what's going on, man?
Jesse Whole Life Durham, we've been saying.
Yeah,
I'm
Jesse.
good, man. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to the people. I'm excited to kind of talk them through what we've been doing in the infinite banking space as of late. Maybe even some of the things that we've been talking to people about. Maybe some of the new things that we've discovered. Maybe some of the new things that we've done with our policies or added to our policies up to this point. Right? We've got all sorts of fun things that we can talk about and walk through today, and I'm excited to do most of that with all the people who are joining us today. So, like normal, here's what we always tell everybody, right? If you are tuning in, if you're live watching us right now on YouTube, on Facebook, we are headed over to Instagram shortly. What you should do is leave us a comment, type in your name, where you're calling from.
What's up, Jake?
And see what's going on. Okay, Jake hit us already. He says he's coming at us from the big town of
Packlet.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Packlet today. What up, Jake? Good to see you, man. Hope things are
Not the
well.
Jake that you met at the car wash.
Yeah,
by the way.
Jacob. That was a whole thing for us. Anyway.
That's why I had to say it again.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. So I've got a few things planned today. I think I've got going to have some fun as we kind of go through some things. But before we jump into it, Jesse, you got to tell the people why we're even here, why we're live, why they should tune in and pay attention to us. What are we doing today?
It's a wild, out of the box concept. It's the idea that you could save and spend money at the same time. Now that affects everybody.
Yep.
We want to earn as much as we can, but we help people keep as much as they can while doing the normal spending that we do.
That's right. And we do that. We've been doing it, practicing it for almost a decade now, saving and spending money at the exact same time. I got to be honest with you, Jesse. So for those of you who don't know out there, are going to watch the replay, we've got a special event coming up this weekend. We're going to have a little bit of our team together, some of the coaches that maybe you've even talked to and have helped you before in town. And we're going to do a little event. So because of that, I'm prepping kind of one of my talks. All right. I'm going to give a talk and I'm prepping.
Which you're good at.
That talk. And it's new. I've never given this talk before.
That's exciting.
And it's detailed, meaning here, I mean, I'm a real person and here's my real banking experience, complete with pictures and videos as we've gone through it in the last 10 years. So I'm excited about that because as I'm reading through Nelson's book, as I'm reading the book, Becoming Your Own Banker, you've got a copy of it here on the desk. As I'm going through what I've done with the policy, I actually started to feel pretty good about some of the things that we've accomplished because I'll give you a hint before Saturday, because on page 3 of that book, there's a paragraph. Okay. I'm going to try to bring it up here. Actually, you know what, Jesse, I've got a digital copy as well that I'm going to try to pull up on the screen for everyone who's paying attention over there. But while you pull it up, why don't you try to read it? So it's on page 3. It is in the left.
You're going to have to tell me. Yeah. Keep going because the virtual book numbers and the hard copy page numbers are different. So.
Okay. So hold on. We want the introduction page to the 5th edition. Okay, folks, I'm going to totally pull this up. This is going to be amazing. Watch this.
Oh, okay. No, that one is the same. Sorry.
Oh, it said share my screen. This is going to be dangerous. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen. You can see my digital version here. I'm about to pull it up for you guys. It's too small. Too small, Jesse.
But I can see your highlights and stuff.
You can see the highlights. All right, I'm going to try to make this thing. I'm going to try to zoom in on this super big. But the paragraph I want you to read is the one that starts with the whole idea. So it's at the bottom of the first column.
Yeah.
Right here.
You want me to read that?
I do want you to read it. I got it up for the people if they can see it over there.
The whole idea is to recapture the interest that one is paying to banks and finance companies for the major items that we need during a lifetime, such as automobiles, major appliances, education, homes, investment opportunities, business equipment, etc.
I love that. Okay, so here's where it gets fun. As I'm looking through kind of the topic that I want to teach on, really to the coaches and agents, and I read through that paragraph, I realized that I've done all of those things.
Okay.
in
That's
the
just what I was
paragraph.
mentally going through in my mind.
I've done
Neat.
all of those things in the paragraph that he talks about the whole idea,
Mhm.
and I've got documentation on the whole thing that I've done. And I thought, what better way to cement where we started a decade ago, having accomplished none of that, given all the money away to the third party and the banks and anywhere else, and where I am almost a decade later with documentation of, look at what we did, look at what we've been able to accomplish because of Nelson Nash in the book, the whole idea of becoming your own banker. So
I can't wait to see yours.
I thought it would be pretty fun. I'll give you a little bit of a insight. So over there on Instagram, I think Protect Your Legacy has joined. That is my good friend Sergio. So Sergio, you were paying attention to that. You got a little bit of a insight also to what one of my sections is going to be on Saturday. It'll be pretty fun. We also got to give big shout out to I think it's called Charles Scorpio 89 over on Instagram.
Okay.
We see you out there. We appreciate you. Again, if you're commenting, go ahead and tell us your name and where you're watching from today. That'll be helpful. We'll love to interact with you. This is an entire interactive hour where we're going to talk through what people have asked us, what people have commented on videos, what people have emailed, what people have told us on the phone, because we field these free consultation calls where we walk through things. And so this call, this hour, this live is all about you. So if you've got questions, put them in the comments. And Sergio, we see you out there. We're excited for you to be there and join us this weekend. Also, it'll be real fun, but we appreciate you there.
I'll say real quick, because you got my mind on it now.
Mhm.
I'm more and more grateful for any time that I have taken a picture, made a video, written something down, documented steps along, because when you get to where, like you say, where we're at, where we're in this 10th year of infinite banking, of saving and spending money at the same time under our belts, and you look back, it is neat to see what all ground you have covered.
Yep. I've noticed that, in a lot of areas, Jesse, I do that sometimes with the kids too.
Mhm.
I sometimes think, oh, who cares? It's just another soccer game. And then my brain will tell me, no, take the pictures, because my wife and I actually, with the family, we do it. We kind of sit on the couch sometimes and we pull up the pictures and we go back and watch the videos and look at them. And it's so fun. Especially,
do you ever tell you, Daddy, can we watch it again?
Yeah, especially it's like, oh, look we remember that couch? We don't even have that couch anymore. That, you know what I mean? And it's fun because you're like, oh, we had that thing for so long. It was such a big staple in our house or living room or family, and like that thing's gone. And anyway, it's pretty fun. So that'll be fun when we talk about that with infinite banking. So here's my thought for all the people who are paying attention out there in YouTube land. Again, give us your name. Tell us where you're calling in from. GTA did not give us name or where he's calling in from. GTA says Monkey.
Nickname? Who knows?
I have no idea. So that's not super
a guy
helpful.
whose nickname is Monkey.
Do you?
He's a beast. Yeah. He's more like a gorilla. But.
Okay. So if you are watching and you'd like to interact with us, give us your name. Tell us where you're watching from, and we'll shout you out, and we'll answer any and all general finance questions you can possibly think of. We'd be more than happy to jump in. But here's what I thought would be fun, Jesse. Why don't we start off with telling people, maybe in the last decade, we've been practicing infinite banking for around the same amount of time, if not a month difference, almost probably. Right. Why don't you maybe highlight one of your favorite things you were able to accomplish, pay off, purchase, invest in, help with, one of your favorite things that you've been able to do in the last almost 10 years with the infinite banking concept?
You know what? Typically, I would say travel, because that's fun. And I've said that before here. I'll tell you a different one, because travel for sure is always fun, right? To be able to reflect on experiences and make a solid financial move at the same time. I think that's awesome. One was, though, helping out with a wedding in the family. That was really cool. That was really cool to be able to help facilitate things like, photographer, caterer, DJ, those types of things, being positioned to be able to do that, keep that in-house, keep that in the family. That was a really cool one.
I love that. Okay, so I'll answer the same question here. But hold on, we got Rob. Rob jumped in.
What's up, Rob?
He said one of his favorites, helping to finance his daughter's wedding. I love that. We got weddings.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so I have not been able to finance or help finance someone else's wedding, but I surely finance and help finance my own wedding.
I love it.
So if that counts, I got to join
It
I got to
counts.
join the wedding pool, right?
It
I've been
counts.
able to do that.
I'm not ready to talk about daughters' weddings anyway, Rob.
Me
I'm
either.
happy. I'm happy for you. Solid financial move. It's philosophically, I'm not there yet.
I
I'm at
love
war with the world.
I love it. So I'll tell you one of my favorites. So it was during COVID. Okay. So during COVID, I am an introverted person by nature. I like to be inside. I like to be in my house. If I had to choose, I'd be a homebody.
Mhm.
The whole work from home, work on your computer is built for me, built for the personality that I have. I do like going out, but I don't prefer going out more than I like staying in. Okay. So that's
can
really the
understand.
key. Okay. So during COVID, I am not doing so hot because I can't leave. Right. So after a while, I'm like,
So you want the option?
I need to go.
Okay.
And I can't go anywhere. So I'm talking to my spouse and I'm like, hey, I need a project or something. Like I need to be occupied because we're just out here watching Tiger King. We have one baby at the time. He's a baby. So we didn't, when they're young enough, they don't dictate a lot of the lifestyle because they're young enough. We still do whatever. We just have the baby.
They're along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to do something. And so I went out and purchased a fun vehicle. I'd never owned a fun vehicle before. Some people have motorcycles. I've never owned one. Dirt bikes. I've never owned one. Convertibles. I've never had a fun vehicle. I've always only had the vehicles for getting to point A to point B. But during COVID, I was like, it's time. It's time for me to do this. I need something to do, something to pour a little attention into. So I went and purchased a Jeep during COVID.
Okay.
Loved this Jeep. My son at the time, only one, loved this Jeep. First day we had the Jeep home. Jeep was in the garage. Couldn't find him for half a second. Where is he? We're looking for him. He's sitting in the garage in the Jeep, passenger seat, eating goldfish.
Ready to go.
Just sitting there eating. He wanted to eat his snacks in the Jeep. So that was a really fun time. I only had that Jeep basically like May of 2020 all the way to like November, December of 2020.
I was getting ready to say, because that wasn't the vehicle I was thinking that you were going to say, but
Nope.
Okay, keep going.
Nope. Only had it for 6 months, but boy, was it a fun 6 months.
Okay.
And that was one of my favorites, actually, that I was able to accomplish with my infinite banking
And it's
policy.
right there from page 3. These
And it's
things
right
that
there.
we're talking about, regular life things, whether it's the wedding or the cars and stuff.
That's
Very
it.
cool.
That's
Okay.
it. Leo says, what's up? He is in Greenville. What's up, Leo?
What's
we
up?
see you out there.
Yeah, me and Leo had
Leo.
lunch.
I did that last
Yeah,
time he was
because
on.
it's his nickname
Yeah.
on his full name.
Yep.
We had lunch yesterday. Fantastic conversation.
Very good.
Appreciate you guys.
Very good. I know Sergio out there saying Jeep Life where it's at, because he's got a nice Jeep. He's got a nicer one than me. Sergio, when I got mine, it was a 1997 Jeep Wrangler, hunter green, and the interior was all beige. It was pretty cool. I actually have a picture of it for something I'm going to do this weekend. It'll be pretty fun, but boy, it was fun. It was so good.
Very
That was one of my favorites. All right, Jesse, let's jump into it here today. Let's get into a little bit of meat here.
Let's go.
Let's talk a little bit about something that has happened in the last week or 2 weeks from someone, maybe a scenario that we've been able to kind of open their eyes a little to what infinite banking is and all about. I can go first if you like.
I got one in mind, but go ahead.
Okay. So this last weekend, I was actually able to go to Ohio. Actually, I was in Ohio last week and I was speaking to a group of real estate professionals. They're actually the real estate professionals who orchestrate, moderate, own the real estate groups in their towns. So this was a really unique experience because it was not, oh, I do real estate. No. It was, I run the 1,000-person real estate group in my city.
Mhm.
And it was a group of leaders.
Mhm.
Okay. And the whole idea of the event was come up, teach us something, and tell us why we should let you speak in front of our groups. Okay. So that was the entire event. So didn't have lots of time, but I knew that in the short amount of time that I had, I wanted to give to them the importance of financing everything you buy. Right? Because if you can understand that and understand that you finance everything you buy, you'll be able to make different decisions. You'll be able to finance differently. You'll be able to move forward in your real estate business just with an upper hand. Right? And so inside the book that we've talked about already this morning, Becoming Your Own Banker, there's actually some CDs. which the CDs, if you listen to it, they tell a different story. It's not all the same information that's in the book. The CDs are not like an audiobook. The CDs actually have a different path to get the same message across.
Edition.
And inside of the CDs, it talks about financing a purchase. I think it's an investment opportunity where on one side you use cash and on the other side you use your policy. And so that's actually what I did in front of the room for this group of people. I said, you guys flip houses, you rehab houses, you do the BRRRR method, you wholesale houses, you're in the middle of the contracts. I totally get it. Let me show you what it looks like to do it yourself, how you're currently doing it from a bank or cash, and let me show you what it looks like on how to do it from a policy. And so I took the time to do that. 20 minutes later, I'm done. I kid you not, 5, 6, 7 people. I've heard of it before. I've seen a video before. I've never had it explained that way, and how it makes sense practically in like the business that I do. I've never seen it before. And so that was actually really eye-opening to me to just remind myself that people need to hear infinite banking. And not only do they need to hear it, they need to hear it in a way that they understand it, that they understand how it's powerful, that they understand how it can be used. And that's what we aim to do for all of the people that are listening out there right now. What we aim to do is explain to you how saving your money and spending someone else's can benefit you so exponentially as you go out throughout your life. Right? It's such a difference. We talk sometimes about the principal that we might have, we talk sometimes about the interest that we might save from financing something in-house, but there's also the opportunity cost that you'd save from financing something in-house. And that some people just miss it. They just miss it. And so that was something that recently happened just this last weekend. And I thought I'd share. I can go in a little deeper after you go if people are interested in hearing that. Okay. I saw that Money Mindset Matters just joined us over there on Instagram. So what's up? We see you. But Jesse, go ahead and share with us what you got.
Sure. One I'm thinking of is, and I've got a second or third call tomorrow with this gentleman from Texas, where in our last conversation, he's realizing this idea of financing is going to apply to his short-term goals and his long-term goals. So part of our conversation was talking about, well, I'd like to pay this off and I'd like to finance, this thing that I see on our family's horizon over the next year. But how does this play into my passive income plans? And then I've got a young son now, this gentleman's telling me, and I want to do some big things that are going to make his starting point very different than mine. So as we had our conversation and developed out what it really means to wield that power of finance, we're saying, well, we can check these boxes and use a properly structured policy to control the banking over this year's goals and plans, things we're going to do anyway. We can just be more powerful by having the control and the profitability over the financing of that thing. And the more that we do that, is that going to play into the benefits of these policies and us being able to use them 20 years from now or 30, whenever our time frame is on that retirement or passive income time of life? Yeah, it makes it that much better because we're keeping that principle. We're able to tap into that opportunity cost. We are able to keep the interest that otherwise would have gone to the car people or the home people or the what. And then, of course, does that facilitate that next generation's, starting point? Of course it does. So just seeing that all these boxes are getting checked. Everything improves.
When people really take the time to understand the power of private financing through a guaranteed product, like life insurance, it checks so many boxes. It really does. I talk to people all the time. They'll call us and they'll say, hey, I watched your video on YouTube. I watched your short video, your reel on TikTok. I'm really interested in talking to you about X, right? Maybe infinite banking or saving more money or whatever. I'm really interested because I saw it. I want to talk to you. And by the time that we're actually done talking with them, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that it would do this for me and that for me and this for me. For instance, I was just talking to a young family. I just got off the call with him yesterday. So get this. This gentleman's 21 years old.
Okay.
He saw a YouTube video specifically where we talked about infinite banking. He calls. He says, "Yeah, I really want to do. I really want to get started with infinite banking, and at the same time, I really need life insurance. I actually saw a different YouTube video, completely different channel about the power of life insurance."
Sure.
He says, the video that I saw was a guy talking to a group where he said, you actually need to pool with your brothers and sisters and buy life insurance on parents or grandparents because they're going to go. You know they're going to go. This is how life works. If you pool and you do that, you guys can split the money when it goes. You can start making this perpetual wealth system go for you. You can generate money, right? Sometimes we talk about that. Life insurance really is the only place where you can take $1 and buy 10.
Yep.
Right? You just can't do it. Now, I get it. There's investments out there that maybe you put $1 in and maybe cross your fingers and hope they can generate more than 10, but it's not guaranteed, right? Life insurance is the only spot where you can literally take $1, you can put $1 in and it'll purchase 10, right? So that's what's important. And this guy, I get off the phone with him and he goes, yeah, I want life insurance specifically. So now we got to talk about how much life insurance he wants, because he wants to cover mom to make sure that mom's okay. He's only 21. He talking about cash value. So we walked through cash value because he's like, I need cash value. Okay, so this is like 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, I get off the phone with him and he's saying, I'm ready to start my policy, but life happened. I literally am moving from Pennsylvania with grandma to Florida with mom this weekend. And he kind of walked me through the first conversation we had and the second conversation he had to kind of say, this is some of the reason why I need this. I understand that I need this, and I've got to keep this policy forever because the policy generates cash. And he's like, and cash is tight. Cash is immediately tight as soon as I wanted to get started with my policy because I literally have to move. And it happened to me in the last 2 days. Right. And I thought, man, what a way at 21. Now I started with infinite banking when I was 22. So since 22, I've been learning. I've been on a mission to learn more about finance, to learn more about private financing, to learn more about, I've just been on this mission. But at 21, I'm like, man, I'm so thankful that you, one, called, second, found our channel, three, are deciding to plug in. So let me send you a bunch of let me get you all the information you need to continue to educate yourself. And I felt that that was a pretty fun one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, and life does happen. The silver lining to me right there is that it all begins with mindset anyway.
Yep.
So, you make that next step to get started in whatever step is next for you in the process, but education comes first, learning comes first. So just being in, see, I didn't, I was 30 years old is what I'm trying to say. I was 30 years old when I got turned on to the idea. So for him to experience life's ups and downs, and maybe be chomping at the bit to get started, that's okay. I mean, take the next best step. I mean, you're seeing it at 21. I wished I'd have seen it at 21.
21. Over there on Instagram, we see you, Shannon Peak Infinite Wealth. What is going on? Levada Mason, we see you over there on Instagram. Drew Howell. So Drew, this is fun. Drew just graduated high school. He's actually at the Air Force Academy currently. So I don't know if I thought Air Force Academy was kind of like basic training or something. So I don't know if he's supposed to have his phone, but right now he's on Instagram. Go get him. He's on Instagram. He's trying to learn about his money. That's probably a good thing.
Probably down in Lackland. I think Lackland.
Maybe. I'm not sure where he is.
Comes to mind.
World Class Agency also is over there on Instagram as well. If you guys would want to ask a question, please do. Type in the comments. Here's what I'm thinking about money. Here's something that I heard. Here's the video that I just watched. And we'll speak on it. We'll answer your question directly. It does not matter if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook. We used to be able to do TikTok also at the same time, but TikTok is owned by China, so they changed the rules over there sometimes.
So there's something about being able to control your environment there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a question, but we do have a comment from Money Mindset Matters. You see that one?
I do.
In my sphere, I haven't found one person that's aware of this. And for me, I'm thinking of your 21-year-old again. It's like, beautiful. You're the one that found it. For me and my family at the time that I heard about infinite banking, it was me. And that was the only thing that, my family had heard about it because I was the first one to hear about it. So congratulations. I would encourage you to get into this book. I would encourage you to watch our Save and Spend System video if you haven't yet. Those are the resources, but let us know. Give us another comment. Ask us a question about maybe what you've already been learning.
Yep. Hey, Money Mindset Matters. If you're still paying attention on Instagram, tell us where you live, how old you are, maybe what you do for work, anything that you want to share. I'm just trying to, when you say in my sphere, I haven't found one person, maybe we know somebody where you are. We can connect you to, right? If you want to talk to somebody face to face or something. So give us a little bit and we'll walk you through it right there. Oh, Jesse.
Tell me.
Sometimes I get really excited when I think about infinite banking because of where we've come from in the last almost decade and where we're going. We both have young families.
Yep.
We got kids that are growing up. And sometimes I feel so encouraged that we're going to be able to provide something a little different than what I had. I watched a Instagram video the other day. I'm just kind of scrolling sometimes, killing time or whatever. And I saw this gentleman. He's interviewer. Sorry.
Okay.
He's an interviewer. He's like famous for interviewing.
Okay.
And he's just walking outside he says, I'm on my way from one interview to the next. I had to go from this studio to the next studio. I'm in LA. Traffic was crazy. The Uber was $200, but it's only 3 blocks. So I'm walking it. And he's making a video. And he literally says, and as I'm out here sweating, walking, I'm just thinking there wasn't one person in my family who could have done better. Not one. It's me. It had to be me. And he made that video walking. And I laughed because it was funny.
Yep.
But I thought to myself, man, how I feel that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you mentioned to Money Mindset Matters just a second ago, well, it's us then. It's us. And what we can do is make a big enough splash through education and through passing down that education, that wealth will tag along with it.
Yep.
Right. And I think sometimes I'm excited about that. I'm so excited for what the kids are going to be able to do and accomplish way different, way more than I was able to, just because of where we're coming from with that education mindset.
And what we can do together too, not just what it'll be like for them, but even, what it can look like for us to do things together, because we are better positioned with the mindset, with the mentality, with the tools in place, with the action steps that we have started by being the trailblazers. I know that's important to folks like Rob, folks like Leo, folks like Jake, people that we have spoken to, folks that are clients or folks that are in this space already. So yeah, it is exciting.
I love that. Sometimes, Jesse, we talk about some different areas of life. Sometimes we talk about, now on this channel, of course, we talk a lot about finances.
Sure.
But there's other areas, right? We've got to talk about maybe faith a little. We've got to talk a little bit about family. We've got to talk a little bit maybe about fitness, whether it's mental fitness or physical fitness. How do you think all of those play together when specifically talking about finance? Right. But how do you think one influences the other, the others influence one?
Yeah. Some of the examples even that we've already touched on. So let's say something like when you think outside of your own household and you're thinking of the family at large, if that's important to you, something like a sister's wedding, a daughter's wedding, being able to do more together as a family financially, it strengthens the actual bond, because you're just keeping more in-house.
Yep.
So that's one practical thing that comes to my mind, is one of those F categories, family, right? Being able to do more intergenerationally or across the board is a big one that comes into mind. I had a great conversation with a gentleman the other day who was working through mentally the idea of financing charitable giving.
Okay.
All right. So touching on your faith example right there. And we got to talk through what it would look like for implementing the concept of saving and spending your money at the same time. Means that over our natural lifetime, we're going to be able to give more than we otherwise would have, because everything is financed. Even gifts, even donations are financed. We're either going to swipe a card to give them some credit, right, and then we got to pay that back and pay somebody some interest, or we're going to save up our money and pay cash, give that donation, that tithe, that offering, that whatever. But if instead we choose that third C of compounding, if we compound our money first, if we save it and compound it first, and then spend from that private banking system, we're going to be able to give more over our lifetime. And then for those people thinking long term, if we're teaching our children that method, and we build this system of policies, because we've been building systems of policies, right, ourselves in our personal lives, and that's the legacy that we're building. Those are the tools that we're amassing. That's the capital that we're compounding. We're going to be giving beyond our lifetimes.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. I heard somebody say once at an event that I was at, they said you don't know any poor people adding wings to churches. And when I heard it for the first time, I kind of thought that was rude to kind of say, you know what I mean? Like that's what I thought first. Like that's kind of, yeah, like why would you? But then as I thought about it for a second, I went, that's so totally true.
It's that way.
I've got a big heart for helping a lot of people. If you've met my wife for half a second, you know that she's got a big heart. We literally, I kid you not, this is a real thing in my house. We literally have conversations about how much she's allowed to do in a month.
Okay.
Because she'll just keep doing it.
Yep.
Her own admission, she'll say, I will give so much that it's at the detriment of my own family because I give so much. So we literally have like she loves to make meals for people. We have a threshold. It's like 5 meals a month. You're not allowed to do more than that.
I love that attitude, though. It's good that IBC can give some structure.
Yeah, we had to have structure because we had to bring it down from what she was doing. I'm not joking. Had to bring it down.
I love
so
it,
I've got a big heart for wanting to do that. I've mentioned probably previously here that in the last year, I started to give back a little bit with something that I love, sports, basketball, and help out some of the high schoolers play basketball in my area for the school. Well, these high schoolers have senior trips and they have summer internships and programs and whatnot. And sometimes we get asked, like, can you help me with this? Can you do this? And you want to have a relationship, you want to help them, right? And so to have the means to do it, like that thought came back in my head. There are no poor people adding wings to churches. Again, I didn't like it when it was said, but I went, that's totally true. If I don't have, I can't help.
Yeah. And
so I want to have, not from this mindset of gimme, store. What's that? Is it Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah.
Was it Scrooge McDuck?
That miserly.
Yeah. Had the vault, right? And it was piled in there. That's not the mindset. Yeah. That's not the mindset that I want. I want to have so I can give. I want to have, we talked about this recently over the summer. We were trying to get mom some insurance. And part of that conversation was actually with mom's kids to say, if we do this, let's do it together. If we do this, here's how we're going to split it together as a family, because that's kind of the mindset that I want to come from. I want to have so we can give. I want to have so we can bless. I want to have so we can move the children forward. I want to have so we don't run into the same problems we had coming up and growing up.
Yep.
And that I think is so cool. So, okay, we got some more. Money Mindset Matters said, what state are we in? We are in South Carolina, sir. We are in the upstate, Greenville. Maybe he didn't hear us before. Maybe he went on. Hey, Money Mindset Matters. You had mentioned earlier, kind of in your sphere, you can't find anybody that's aware. We were going to ask you, where are you from? Where are you currently? Maybe we know somebody over there that can help you. We've also got the Thompson Turners, maybe Turners Thompson. I don't know. Over on Instagram. Big Boy Steven over on Instagram, Blair Privet over on Instagram. We see you out there if you're paying attention. What is going on? If you've got money concerns, questions, thoughts, and you'd like us to give our opinion on them or tell you what we've done in the past, please let us know. Not Graceland just jumped on our Instagram feed. If you've got questions, we want to hear them because we will answer for you. And we want to jump in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Money Mindset Matters does say, I'm doing this personally already. Awesome.
Cool.
You're maybe what Nelson, the guy that came up with the concept of infinite banking, would call the Lone Ranger, right? Because not everybody's heard about infinite banking yet. So for those first of us that hear about it, love it, get it, implement it, start it, we're kind of like the Lone Ranger in the beginning. We did have the benefit of being able to know each other and bounce ideas and, hey, I'm doing this. Are you doing that? Have you read this? Have you read that? And now you have that with us. So glad to have you here.
Yeah, he says he's in Georgia. We definitely know some folks over in Georgia who are practicing infinite banking. We could more than likely connect with you. Here's what I'd ask, if that's okay. What you should probably do is just click the link in our bio, click the link in the description, because there it's got our free booking calendar. And if you jump on the calendar, we'll talk to you about where you are and we'll get specifics and we'll say, oh, call this person or watch this video or plug into this group, because we more than likely can help you out with some people down there in Georgia. I didn't do anything in Georgia this year. Normally we've got a few things in Georgia that we do in order to help. Same thing for you, big boy Steven.
Yep.
If you're in California, absolutely. We've got folks in California. You should do the same. Click the link in our bio, book a free call. It's completely free. You're just putting in your name and email and phone number. We'll call you. And if you're like, I'm in California, can you help me? Of course. I'm in California. Can you just point me to the direction of someone in my area? Of course. If you're like, send me lots of information and I'll point myself in my own direction. We got you with that too. Some people are like that.
Yeah, another great resource could be our Infinite Bankers Facebook group.
Yep.
So that's a virtual community that we have where folks are in there sharing, hey, I use policy loans for this, or hey, I have this question, or hey, here's what I've got going on. And it's a great place where people are sharing those best practices or asking questions or answering questions. So that's a great virtual community. Just go to Facebook and look up Infinite Bankers. We'll ask you a couple of questions. Make sure you're a real person, right? But that's a great group.
You got to be careful of that these days. AI can make profiles and stuff and jump in. If you click on the message request, you ever gone into your Facebook or whatever, Instagram, and there's like a separate category of messages and their message requests, and for whatever reason they're the most hidden thing you can possibly find. You have to click 3 extra buttons to get to message requests. So if there's a real person in there, you're like, oh, that was a month ago. I didn't even realize. But my message requests are just all fake people or whatever. The whole thing is fake. And I'm like, what? This is why it's 3 extra clicks, because they already knew, don't go in here.
I try to check stuff, and I actually did get a legitimate message the other day where somebody just, new number and all that kind of good stuff. But I debated it first, like, am I responding to this one? I guess we'll try it.
Some of them are like, you got to add them as a friend, and then you got to message them once. There are some platforms like that. I think maybe is LinkedIn like that. You can't follow, you have to connect, and then it's confusing for me because they're all different, and they just keep adding them. Every platform is adding these things now. I tried to log into the ESPN app the other day because on my list, it's not really a bucket list, it's just on my list. I'm a big sports guy. The US Open is on right now, the tennis match in New York, and it's on my list. I want to go to the US Open, and so I was logging into the app to see who was playing, because the tennis people are normally big names. So if they're names I don't know and people from different countries, I wasn't super interested. But if they were big names, Federer or whatever, right? He might have retired. Nadal, you know these names.
I would. Okay.
You don't know these names? Okay. But anyway, I was going to watch them.
Williams.
And yeah. Well, so Serena, Coco, there's big names. Anyway, I got on the ESPN app to check just what games are on. The ESPN app has a vertical video section now. I was like, on ESPN.
Makes sense.
And I was, makes sense. Yeah. And sports. I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway.
Well, Big Boy's got a concern.
Okay.
Let's field that, because we're here to answer questions and stuff for sure. Yep. He says, my concern is that my health is too bad. What would you say to that?
Yeah, Big Boy, that is totally legitimate concern. However, not relevant for the infinite banking concept.
Right.
So let me explain. If you're thinking of traditional life insurance, then health is an absolute thing. If the insurance company is going to do any sort of health check, you cannot have big health concerns. Now, you're allowed to have small health concerns, right, Jesse? You're allowed to have asthma and maybe be diabetic or something.
If you had a heart attack yesterday, don't submit an application today.
There you go.
Right.
But if you've got big health concerns, a lot of times for traditional insurance, the insurance company will give you a big thumbs down, and they'll tell you, no, we're not super interested.
But there's no way for you to know that, typically, unless you have a conversation at least at first.
Yep. However, for infinite banking, here's where it gets fun. Infinite banking, you want to be the owner and controller of the finances. And that's the whole purpose of infinite banking. I need to own and control, and then I need to learn what to do to own and control and capture and create and have. But that does not mean that I have to be healthy to own and control and do things.
Right.
So what we normally recommend for those who have a health concern is that we're looking to insure maybe a spouse, if you have one, girlfriend, fiance, husband, wife, just the spouse, the other person, right? Yep. Or maybe you've got children. Let's look to insure the children. I have insurance that I own and control on my children. Actually put in a loan request the other day on their policies. We'll talk about that a little later. But I've got policies I own on my children. Maybe the other direction. Maybe policies on parents. or grandparents. Again, we can talk through it and work through it. So your health being a concern, we hear you. You are thinking about that traditionally, correct. But for infinite banking, easy peasy lemon squeezy. We'll just
Right.
have a quick conversation with you about who's involved in your life and who we should insure. Maybe a business partner. Maybe I own
Could
a
be a
business
business
together,
partner.
so I'll insure the business partner. And we'll do that as opposed to insuring you, because like Jesse said, if you had a heart attack yesterday, they're saying no, they're not going to let you have that insurance.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But the place to start is with yourself. Let's have that conversation. Let's talk about your situation. Then if it doesn't make sense, yeah, I own policies on my children as well.
Yep. Okay, I was looking over there on Instagram for the latest person who joined, and I realized when I went to say it,
I mean, you can do it if you want.
I'm gonna let this one pass. We got somebody over there on Instagram.
These handles.
But your handle is not my favorite. I'm not gonna say it. Okay. Jesse, share something with us here, sir.
Well, I've had some other conversations from this week, of course, floating in my mind. I talked about the one gentleman from Texas, and we were answering his questions, just like we're fielding questions here from Big Boy about, well, what about health, and what about this, and what about the other? Because we really take a holistic approach to you saving and spending money at the same time, right? It does check all these boxes. Once you realize that it does, it can check all these boxes of using policies for today's goals, this year's plans, right? But then it plays into passive income plans. It plays into your intergenerational, cooperational, big picture, big idea, long range goals, right? Another one of them was kind of going back to what you said earlier, Jonah, about people are kind of aware of equity and leverage and stuff, right? Like you were talking earlier, I thought about this when you were talking about speaking to the real estate folks. They're familiar, okay, with having an appreciating asset, hopefully, that they can perhaps leverage. When you wrap your mind around that idea at some level, or you have some experience with that, and then you get turned on to, again, if you've not read this book, if you've not watched our presentation, do that. This is going to teach you about the superior way to do that. And maybe this will answer some of y'all's questions. What are some of those characteristics that make a whole life insurance policy where I maybe have a question about, well, what about my health? What about my age? What about this? What about that? How much premium? You know, that's another question that I handled recently. It's just the ideal place to build equity. It's the ideal place to be able to access capital. It's the ideal place to create that generational move from day one. I mean, from the day that I got one of these policies, it was for sure checking that protection box. It was for sure protecting that legacy box, right? We've got 3 kids, 4th one on the way. I need as much of that as possible.
Yep.
But these policies are also having all these advantages for what I want to do now. So just really wrapping your mind around, it's as simple as you can control and profit over the banking function in your life. But people do have questions about this tool and what are those characteristics and things like that. So thinking about conversations about that, it's just a superior way, because home equity line of credit had a conversation recently about that one. That one got used in this family situation of making a remodel. Pretty typical way of approaching finance, right? Well, okay, I want to do something to the house. I'll take a home equity line of credit on the house and fix this thing. That thing comes with a very structured repayment.
Sure does.
The bank expects something every month. And then if you have a case like our young gentleman where, oh, well, this happened or that happened, we're moving to Florida.
Yep.
Whatever the thing happens to be, realizing the difference between those ways of financing, whereas the policy, there's no structured repayment. We're the ones in control. So some of those characteristics are coming to mind.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's helpful. If it makes you have a question, ask it.
Man, I think that what you really got to do is you got to put whole life insurance, especially when we build it for banking, in the right category in your mind. I think that's like a huge, huge, huge key. So I'll tell you why this is on my mind. So I've bought lots of insurance. I'm actually a really, really big fan of insurance. I own significant amount of insurance on lots of different areas.
Yep.
So one of the insurance policies I own is for my wife's engagement ring. So this is sometimes popularized as engagement ring insurance. If you search that, you'll find things.
Mhm.
But really what it is it's valuable personal property. That's the official terminology for what it is. Okay. So I own one of these policies on my wife's ring that I bought her because I paid a lot of money for the ring. And if we lose the ring, which happens sometimes, lost weight, falls off the finger, swimming, didn't take it off, dishes in the garbage disposal, whatever it is, I don't want to have to cover the full cost. So this policy that I've purchased for this ring is straight up protection. That's what it is. I don't check this policy every day, every week, every month, every year. At this point, I've had this policy for 9 years now. 2016 is when I bought this policy. So I probably could tell you that maybe I look at this policy once a year, maybe, but really I know the price. The price is $25 a year for this policy.
Mhm.
As long as I get the letter or email and it says 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, I don't think about it. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds. Emails deleted. I'm keep moving.
Yep.
And in 9 years that I've had the policy, it's never moved. So that policy for me is categorized as protection. That's all it is. It's protection. We're right now sitting in the studio. We're making a live video. We've got mics in here. We've got cameras. We have TVs. We have insurance on these items. The reason for it is because maybe we're trying to shoot a different video in a different room and we drop the camera and it breaks. Well, either I need to have readily available $2,000 to buy a new camera, or I file the insurance claim and I get the money for it. Like, this seems simple.
Protect your valuables.
Protection.
I'm with you.
Okay. Then there's whole life insurance.
Yep.
And for a long time, I had real trouble figuring out which category to put whole life insurance in, because it was like, well, it is insurance, but I'm using it, but I don't, right? And I just didn't know. And I just stopped thinking about it a little bit and was like, I'll figure it out later, what categories and who cares? And I started to realize that no, whole life insurance built this way is an income producing asset, and it has to be in that category.
Mhm.
And if more people would put it in that category, I think that it would really help them understand what they're doing. Meaning, money is tight. We need to move to Florida. Do you sell the income producing asset? No.
It's
You
the
have to
first
have
thing we
that.
fund. It's the
You have
last
to
thing.
have that, or else life gets worse in Florida.
Yeah.
Right? Think about other income producing assets that people have. People talk about rental properties all the time. It's very popular. So if you've owned the property, mortgage $1,000, but the rent's $1,500, you make $500 a month. Do you sell the income producing asset when you have to move to Florida? No. In fact, you're like, praise the Lord that we have the extra $500, and
Mhm.
maybe when's the renewal? Can we make it another 100 or another 200? Can we increase because we need the money? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And if you put the income producing asset in the right category, whole life as an income producing asset, and you categorize it appropriately in your head, it's way different. You make way different decisions. Right? And that's really important. So that is something that I was thinking about just as you know why I did this?
Tell me.
Because I am a dork and I was online looking at
confirm.
more insurances, and I realized that they've got insurance for musical instruments. We have a piano.
Sure.
My son just started playing piano, and so I need to weigh the costs. How much is it? How much are they going to charge me? How much to pay for the piano? Right?
Especially when you're ready for these baby grands and stuff.
Right. So
Yeah.
so I gotta do the math. Am I buying this insurance?
Yep.
I've got a dog. Dog's pretty healthy, but they have pet insurance. Let me look at what pet insurance covers and what the deductible is and how it works. Because do I think the dog's healthy forever? No. And so if the dog's not healthy forever and I got a bill coming at some point, I should prepare now. Have you ever heard, Jesse, of this Eisenhower matrix? Have you heard of this? Where it's kind of a quadrant, a 4-quadrant guy.
Okay.
And there's got 4 different categories. So in the top left, I think, is important and urgent.
Mm.
And in the
Right.
top right, it's like urgent but not important. And then it's like, I'm gonna mess it all up now.
No, but I'm tracking with you.
Yep.
All right. So are you saying that because of the context of trying to figure out where to put
That's
whole
what I'm
life
saying.
as
That's
a
what I'm saying.
category? And
Insurance is the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
thing you got to buy before you need it.
well, that's what I'm thinking about when you say about, the cars, the homes, the phones, the jewelry, insurance is valuable. period. That's why it's
Period.
been around so long. That's why people pay for it. Even if we don't like it, do I want to be able to deal with, the whole car deal? If the car, no, I got car insurance.
Right.
So people I didn't value what I would say is our number one asset, which is our lives.
Yep.
Like all these other things, they're just part of our life. They're not our life. They're part of our life. They're things that we've acquired that we see value in, we want to protect. If we had put that kind of focus, that kind of emphasis on this is important, this is urgent, I should be protected. And then, of course, when you can check the box of, oh my goodness, I can have a policy that has these living benefits.
Exactly.
Yes and yes.
The only thing you got to buy before you need it. You should buy it. You should buy a lot of it. Second, if you can design the policies the way that we talk about all the time, where they can do two things at once. I'm going to get the protection I needed from the insurance, but I can also, like Jesse just mentioned, have the living benefits that turns this thing into a cash flow producing asset while it still does the insurance thing that I needed anyway. Any financial person, a financial advisor would tell you to go get insurance, right? If you can do them both, what are you waiting on?
Right.
What are you waiting on? And don't tell me money's tight, but you still got Netflix and you need to get rid of your life insurance. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can go at any time. You must have that. You must have that, right? And I think that's really important. So when I was talking about the Eisenhower matrix, So top left, urgent and important. Top right, not urgent but important. Bottom left, not important but urgent. Bottom right, not urgent, not important. And the whole idea of the Eisenhower matrix is the top left, urgent and important, takes up too much of your time, energy, and effort. You need to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
You need to actually live in the top right, important but not urgent, which is where insurance falls. Extremely important, but you have to buy it before
nobody's
it's urgent.
twisting your arm
But you have to buy it before it's urgent. And if you can make a lot of your decisions from that field, that top right corner, not urgent but so important, you'll never have stuff fall into the urgent and important, which takes all your focus away. I can't do anything but do that, right? They use that model a lot in business. They talk about like when you're trying to work on something but your phone rings. Urgent, your phone is ringing, not important.
Right.
Let it go. Call them back.
Yep.
Right. They talk about stuff like that. And that's really helped me kind of figure out the way that I need to go about building business, talking to people, operating, what's important for us, building a business, what's important for clients. We need to get into the important but not urgent stuff. And sometimes we let the important and urgent stuff take all of our time and attention, and we just shouldn't. Right.
Leo saying amen. So I'm going to have to tap out because I got a call at the top of the hour. Jonah, do I step out? Or are you going to tell people how to best connect with us? Or
do it. Let's wrap this thing up, Jesse. So
thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Leo. Appreciate y'all.
Everyone who is watching, we really do appreciate you. We are live every Thursday at the noon hour Eastern. Sometimes we've got special guests. Sometimes it's just us. But what we like to do is we like to talk to you about what you're thinking, your financial questions. We like to answer it. If we don't have lots of questions, we'll tell you all about us and our financial thinking and what we've accomplished. Similarly to what we did today, we had some pretty good questions from Instagram, but that's what we do. If you would like to talk to us specifically about your situation, what you should do is click the link in the description of this video, click the link in our bio, go to our profile and click the link. It doesn't matter where you get the link, click it. It'll ask you to book a call with us. You'll talk to one of us. Really, one of us will really talk to you. We'll really walk you through things. We'll really answer questions. We are not big salesmen here. We like to talk to you and figure out what we know can help you and where you're headed on your path. So if that's you, click the link in our bio. You can also check out our website, thebankingbros.com, where we have lots of informational videos, lots of new things. You can find us on all the social media platforms as well. But that's what I got. Jesse, you got anything?
I love it. Yeah. No, my wish is that you certainly just learn this concept for yourself, apply it. Once you know that it's your way, you're going to be that trailblazer like we are. We're just sitting here as open books, sharing you our story and helping those that want to come along.
There it is. Okay. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you next week. Until then, peace and happy banking.
To the banking bro, said we couldn't make it, drink us with choke. Gave a lot of game, we never got a lot of things. Bow your head and say the prayer, we taught you how to be the bank.